right, we're back, and I am here today, and we're doing this segment about a new and exciting program, newish, an exciting program at the library. So I would love for my guests to go around one at a time and maybe introduce yourself. Some are repeat guests. Welcome back. And we'll go around and you can introduce yourself, your title, what you do at the library, and then we'll talk together about this project.
Sure. My name is Kristen Brown. I am a project member for the Memories of Orchard East Community Archive Project. I have been working for the library system for a while, but I tend to wear a lot of hats, so I like to bounce around.
Yay.
My name is Regina Manning. I'm a reference librarian here at Ellis, and I'm also helping with the project and looking forward to all that entails.
And hi, I'm Noelle Roth. I'm a clerk over at Erie and Luna Pier, and I'm helping out with this project. I'm also going to library school studying digital content management, so I'm really excited to work on this project.
Right.
I should probably add I'm also a graduate student, not just somebody that floats around.
Well, we do like to say we wish we could do everything here. We like to wear a lot of hats, and luckily at the library we kind of get to do a little. That's one of the things you said to me. Really, every day is different. You help someone different, so it is really. Even though you guys are working on this specific project right now, that's certainly not all that you do. So it's wonderful to, and I know we've worked together in a lot of different branches and different capacities. Absolutely. So we've been all over. And I know you also wanted to mention Kelly.
Yes. So Kelly is a major part of our group also. She is a clerk at the Navarre Branch Library, and she's been an asset to our group with planning the Memories of Orchard East project as well.
Yeah, and she couldn't be here, but we wanted to just make sure
give
we
her a
shout
out.
Sure.
Kelly, what's up?
So now the project, we've been saying the project. So do you want to talk a little bit about what it is? And I don't know how you guys want to run this.
So the project is the Memories of Orchard East. It's a community digital archive. A lot of times it's called like a history harvest. The main point of the project is to highlight a certain area of the community and to get more information and history from that community. And the unique part about this project is instead of us going out to the community as library professionals and archivists and researchers, we really want the people to highlight what's important to them and what they want to preserve. And then we provide the technology and kind of the support for them to do that. And then if you guys want to add anything on to that, what you think? And
we definitely want to preserve any memories that anyone has that either grew up down there, went to school down there, went to a business, had a business. There is a lot going on, and with everything changing in that area, there's been a lot of changes in the last 5 years, especially.
And probably will be more.
Will be more. So we felt that this was a really great time to capture how it is right now before things change anymore, just to keep the memories going. So we're trying to do not just oral histories, but materials and documents that people have, images. It's about the personal experiences of everyone. So whatever we can use to capture that, programs or flyers or any kind of memories, matchbooks, anything.
So you're looking for current, past, anything at all, any range, and from any age as well. This can be from any age.
Yep.
Okay.
If it has important meaning. I think the big thing too that we want to highlight is just how unique Orchard was and is. It's kind of it's been described as a city within a city, and you just don't really see that anymore because of varying reasons. And so it's really important for us and for the community to acknowledge that and to celebrate that, and we don't want to lose that. So like Regina said, there's a lot of things happening down there, a lot of great progress that's been made, but we want to make sure that the people in that area have a voice in that as well. And so this is kind of our way of inviting them into the process.
I love that, like where we've been and where we're going.
Yeah.
It's also a matter of preservation too. A lot of digital projects, they start out with the need of having preservation done because documents are decaying, film and just becoming obsolete.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important that we document this community because I've seen pictures, and I don't live around here, but I've seen enough pictures and materials to know how much this has changed and how it's really important that we document how it's changed over the years.
Yeah, I think that's great. So if you, so how do you go about becoming a part of this? Can anyone reach out to you? Like, do they reach out to you? Like, how can anyone, especially if somebody's listening right now, for example, if somebody wants to be a part of this, do they call their local library? Like, how does this come to happen? How does this
That's a good question. We're trying to set up several avenues so
Okay.
that even if you want to somewhat passively be a part of it without actually having to leave and go somewhere, we're trying to set up options for that. We have a couple really big ways that you can be a part of it, and that is a big event that we're having in July. It's Saturday, July 15th at the Navarre Branch Library, and that will be, excuse me, from 9 to 12. And we're inviting anybody and everybody who has materials that they want to share. Excuse me. Another option is you can call and set up different ways to contribute your materials. So you can call at Ellis Reference. That's where Regina works. So I'll let her kind of take over on that because we are available to do appointments.
That's what I want.
We will come to you.
Or if they have stuff to drop off, or
Yeah.
I liked how you said where they maybe don't even have to like necessarily leave their home. What if they wanted to like scan and send them to you?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. You can send them through emails. One thing that makes it a little tricky is we do want to make sure that we have consent to use your items. We want to make sure you're informed about what will happen to those items. One unique thing about this project is we don't actually keep your physical items. And do either one of you guys kind of want to talk about
Digitizing
that?
them.
Yeah, well, we're hoping that as people bring items to us, we can digitize them for them and find a digital way to record that and then give a copy to the person. So then that way they have a digital copy as well. So it's preserved, so they're able to post it on social media or just to have a digital copy for the future. So if that photograph or anything wants to be shared or just saved.
Yeah, they can
So
make
we're
prints
wanting-
from it.
So we're wanting to definitely share, like Kristen was saying, it's more of a people's project and what they want to do. So your items are yours. We would just like permission to use them, but we definitely want to provide copies for people so that as a thank you and just as a way to help everyone keep preserving that information and memories.
Yeah, definitely community involvement. So you were saying what you want to use these items. Do you want to talk about where they will be able to be at, I don't know if this is the right time for it. Am I jumping
Sure.
ahead? Did you have more to share before we go forward? Okay. So do you want to talk about how people can view the stuff that you acquire, or when or where, or how to find it?
Yeah, so the big end goal for this is to take those digital copies that we'll get of your materials, which could also be, like your photographs, your documents, your recipe books, anything like that. But you can also bring in 3D items. So it could be one topic that's really big in Orchard is the boxing community. And so we have been approached about, are you going to have memorabilia about boxing? And absolutely, we want to touch on anything that's important to that community. Boxing is definitely one of those. So what we'll do is with 3D items like that, we'll take pictures of them. And then any of the other material we have that we've scanned and created digital copies, those will be put on our online collection platform, which is called BiblioBoard, and that can be accessed through our website. We do plan to provide, I wouldn't say like training, but we will definitely have a big event at the end where we can show people how to do
Like
that.
a launch and
Yep.
I
help
would
them.
imagine we would post videos to social media.
Tutorials on how to find this.
Absolutely.
Sure.
That's going to be the big thing. If you donate items, you're going to want to be able to see them and how they've been put together.
And see someone else's items, like-minded items. So I mean, it's
Yeah,
definitely going to be
start
the
those
community.
conversations even
Sure.
more. Absolutely. Yeah. Another big part of this project that kind of serendipitously happened was we started a mapping project because we really want to focus on how vibrant the business district was in Orchard and how many businesses really flourished during that time. So we've been working with the city and their mapping system to get these big maps made so that we can get people involved in pinpointing where certain businesses were over time. And we're hoping that can become an interactive thing where people can spark conversations and talk about memories, and we can have that kind of visual. And we will also be at a couple events that we will help have those maps out and have people be a part of that. You guys want to elaborate on that?
One thing I wanted to say is if anyone has any questions about what they can or if provide, or if something they have is important, if you have any memories at all of Orchard East in any capacity, if you have pictures of people outside playing at events, tot lots, different types of things. We're looking for, right now, we're kind of concentrating on, would you say 1950s? Is that too early? We're really kind of doing more
We're
like,
kind of focusing on, like 1950s to maybe like 1970s
Yeah.
is like what we're really
Yeah.
trying to
Okay.
get, but we will not turn away
Right.
anything.
Anything before or after that. I was
Absolutely.
curious what the high point
And
is.
that's a really good point because like 80s and 90s, even in the early 2000s, were pivotal for Orchard
Yes.
with different community groups and doing a lot of work to keep the neighborhood safe and advocating for the communities. We also want to highlight those, obviously,
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
It's sort of like putting a puzzle together too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
It
with
is,
the pieces of the
yeah.
puzzle that are missing from those years or
Any,
whatever.
you know, a lot of businesses have changed, a lot of buildings are gone. So if you have memories, even if you've heard people talk about going to a butcher here, a market here, a tavern here. One thing about the area is it was just more insular. People just used the area. They didn't necessarily leave their neighborhood. So we're just trying to capture any memories that people have so that those buildings that are no longer there, those churches that have changed names, that we're documenting. So if you have any questions, just any doubts about it, just add it to the list or give us a call because chances are we're interested.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I even thought that when you were saying like, we'll have a lunch, we'll show you how to use this. I feel like this is a good time to remind everyone, we will always show you how to use any one of our databases on our website at any time.
Exactly, yeah.
So I feel like I always tell people, call the library. So call your local branch, call Ellis Reference, certainly. But I definitely think that, you know, if you do need help accessing this or any other database that we have on our website of MyNCLS, that you could always call the library. So this is a good time to remind them of that. And you had something you want to add?
Well, I just want to highlight the importance of digital collections as a whole because during the pandemic, I saw a lot. I haven't been working here for too long, but when I started in 2021, we were still in the midst of everything. It's so important to make this kind of information accessible to everyone. I work at a smaller branch and a lot of the materials aren't available online. So I've had a lot of people drive an hour, 2 hours to come to our library and try to find this information. So I think it's really important that we are containing this information online, especially for Orchard East, because now you don't have to go to the neighborhood to look at this information. You don't have to go to the library. And this is definitely the way of the future. I've seen a lot more libraries that are focusing on digital collections, and I don't think this will stop anytime soon. So I'm really glad that we're hopping on the digital collection train, and especially with something like this because it's so lucrative.
That's a good point, not to interrupt you, but yeah, especially because of some of the events we have coming up. Actually, our group will be at a couple of Juneteenth events that
yes.
There's one that's on Saturday, the 17th at the community center. We will be there discussing the project and hoping to talk with individuals, get some stories, kind of share some information about the project. And we will also be present at the Juneteenth celebration that's also in Orchard. And that's over in, is it Montague Park, Montague Park. And we will be there for several hours, also hoping to really get some stories, meet people, chat, and have a great time there. But one thing that was highlighted is for these events, a lot of people come from out of town because they grew up in Orchard. They're familiar with Orchard. They might come back and see other people, which is great when you have big events like that. But as Noelle pointed out, a lot of times you might want to just walk down memory lane without having to travel. And so this would be a really good way for people to interact and share those memories without having to physically come to the location and do it that way. So it does help with accessibility.
And that's what I was going to say as well. When you said that, I thought that's, you know, I always like to say one of the good things that came from COVID, but you know, for like to get on this. And another thing I've always been really proud of working. So I have been here a little longer than you have. So I said, one of the things I've always loved about working for the Monroe County Library System is every time we go to a conference or, you know, like PLA, ALA, any conference, I feel like I am always proud that we're either presenting or we're sharing or we've done that. Like, I love that we're sort of, when you said on the train, like I kind of love that a lot of times we're leading these things or we hear of someone else doing it and that we are able to provide that service to patrons as well. So I'm always really proud of the things that we do as a library system because it's hard. You kind of think of comparing yourself to like Ann Arbor or something bigger and you feel, but I just feel like that when you were saying that, that's exactly what I was thinking is what a wonderful service.
Well, and also the support we received.
Oh, for sure.
With this, you know, it was just an idea that kind of came about and we received a green light immediately. We were able to meet with people, and we've had such a welcoming response from the community. We've been in contact with the museum. Like I said, the Opportunity Center that is at the community center in Orchard, and we've also been working with the city, and we hope to, be working with the newspapers. So we're trying to get all of these local institutions involved so that it really is a community project and everybody is connected on the material that we receive, so it's accessible. And that people have it available to use and to appreciate.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I can agree more. Is there anything else you guys want to add? I don't want to miss anything. If you had something that you wanted to highlight that I was not aware of or didn't know about.
We will have information updated on the social media.
Oh, okay.
So you can check in there.
Like our library Facebook page
Yeah.
or any of our platforms.
Yeah.
Okay.
We will also have, if you have any questions, we do have material that's coming out. We've done a couple different like spots and kind of interviews. We did an interview with Brian at Impact.
Oh, yes.
And we have some things that are coming out in the paper that will provide information. If you have any questions or how you want to get involved, it has contact information, but you can always call up to the Ellis Library and Reference Center, and they will be able to direct you on what to do as well. So we just really hope that
The word gets out.
Yeah, we
spread the
really
word.
just
Tell
want
your
people
friends.
involved.
Yeah.
This project will not exist if
Mhm.
we don't have the community behind it. We acknowledge that fully. So we really want people to be involved, and hopefully they feel comfortable with providing that information and trusting us, because we want to take care of it. We want to be stewards for the information, and we really just want to be advocates for the community.
I love it. I love
Yes.
everything about this project. So I know that we didn't have Adrian with us today for this podcast, and he always asks the fun stuff, and I'm kind of boring. And he said he would like it to be more fun and more bantering, but he said I'm like a freight train, and I don't really
Random
He does.
questions.
He does. So I don't have a lot of random questions, but I always just steal his because he'll ask fun things like, "What's your favorite pizza topping?" But I decided, since we talked about this a little earlier, and I'm a candy junk food junkie, I thought we could share our favorite candies. So it's hard for me to narrow down to. I have different ideas and categories. So does anyone want to share theirs?
This is tricky for me because I don't really eat candy a lot.
Boring.
I know.
Or snack food, vice.
Werther's Original, like that's
Oh yeah, no, but I do like that. That's funny.
like that's not a
She's-
very spicy candy.
Kristen is an 85-year-old trapped in this.
I like Raisin Bran
Yeah.
also.
Check it. You are an old soul. We are old souls. We share that all the time. But I love that you said Werther's Original. That's fun. I do like those. That's funny. That's a great one.
Yep.
I'm a lot like Jackie. I feel like I love the sour fruity.
I was
So-
gonna
oh, were you? I
sour
feel you're
gummies,
yeah, same.
watermelon, strawberry.
Like Sour Patch,
Yeah.
or I was gonna say, because
Yeah.
the Sour Patch watermelon, that's where it's at.
Yes,
That's
we were just
probably my
talking
favorite.
about those. Yeah. And
Nice.
I didn't know that was you too, because I know that's her. And I keep telling her, I'm like, oh, we're so much alike. And I was like, yeah, I love those candies too.
Yes.
So okay, how about you? What's yours?
All right.
I hope it's random.
Well, I'm the exact opposite. I don't like sour and I don't like
Oh.
fruit, but there is nothing better than putting a Reese's cup in the freezer, pulling it out. It's just perfect. Putting it in vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
You cannot stop the Reese's cup love. All right.
You
I
put
get-
it on your s'mores.
No,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
you
need to
should.
try
You
that.
should
Did I
do
just
Reese's
blow your
s'mores.
mind?
It
No.
just blew my mind.
I
I'm
make my
trying
s'mores
it.
with Reese's too. I do
Okay.
that. Love them.
Gotta
Awesome.
put it on a s'mores.
Okay.
I just admitted earlier that I will like scoop out a scoop of peanut butter and put chocolate chips on it, like those old school. Remember those commercials? Like,
Yes.
you shoot chocolate with my peanut. So I also love all things Reese's. So,
Good,
so I
good.
can appreciate. I have love for that too.
Has
That's a
anybody
good
tried
one.
the Reese's with like I guess they have
Like
like
pretzels,
chips
potato
in it.
chips.
Oh.
I've tried.
Now
a
we
few
got one with Reese's Puffs. You know,
Yeah,
Reese's Puffs.
the cereal.
Trying too hard.
It's like Oreos. They're getting out of control. But I will
Yeah.
say, I do always, the same way I killed Nutella with you. Ashley Lightford also loves Reese's. So we buy each other the newest. So whenever we see something random, like this one has pretzels, this one has.
Nice.
So we're both like, oh, it's so weird. And then we have to try it, you know? So-
Yes.
So I will
There's
admit
that
I have tried all of those.
camaraderie
I will
then
admit I've tried
too.
all of those.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, I said I went a little bit of silly. I didn't want to let Adrian down. But I really wanted to focus on the wonderfulness that is this project, that is you guys that are, behind this, and what a pleasure it is to work with you and hear more about this. And so, is there anything else you wanted to share about it?
I don't think so.
No, I think we covered it.
All right, awesome. So yeah, this has been In the Library with Marsha and not Adrian. And this was recorded on Friday, June 9th, and with our special guests. And thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having